What's up, everyone? Welcome to Bluegrass State of Mind, the show where three college roommates talk life, sports, and all the ridiculous things that happen in an apartment we like to refer to as Room 302. We're bringing you stories, hot takes, and the kind of late-night debates that probably should have stayed in the group chat.
So grab your headphones, sit back, and get ready for a wild ride through our past college life, sports, and everything in between. Let's get into it. This is Bluegrass State of Mind.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Bluegrass State of Mind. As you see, we got a guest appearance with us. Been on here before. Last time is a little hot debate between the GOATs in basketball. We won't get into that, but Mr. Chad Rush is with us again. Fellas, we're going to talk a lot of Kentucky stuff to start things off, but we are going to start positive. And when you're talking about positive, we're going to start with some Kentucky basketball before we get into some Kentucky football. So the University of Kentucky basketball program had their occasional pro day held this week. And then also this Saturday, they're going to be having Big Blue Madness. So just a little quick little rundown. I wrote some notes down, and then we'll hand it over to y'all to hear your thoughts on the pro day. We'll start there, and then if we want to talk some Big Blue Madness, we can, but I feel like it's both going to go in the same direction. But coming off last year, we got Mark Pope coming into year two here. Had 5 wins against top 10 opponents, which set a record. Had 341 three-point field goals made, which was also a program record. 6 players averaging 10-plus points. Advanced to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2019. A lot of success coming in. But I think the biggest thing heading into next season that we didn't have last year is depth. When you talk about just alone, our guards are Otega Owe, Denzel Aberdeen, Jasper Johnson, Cam Williams, Colin Chandler, Jalen Lowe. Forwards are Muhammad Dabate, Braden Hawthorne, Trent Noah, Brandon Garrison, and then our centers are AJ, however you want to say his name, Jaden Quainitz, Malachi Moreno, Reese Potter. Chad, this team is set to be and looks to be a lot more athletic and just capable of doing so much on both ends of the floor. What is probably something like you're looking at, and you can elaborate more on the pro day if you want to, but just in general, like what's exciting you about this year? Like, because I feel like the vibes are a little bit different this year as they were last year and even years before as Cal's era was coming to an end. So what's the most exciting part heading into the season right now?
I think for me, the athleticism. I feel like last year there were so many times where we could just get off of a backdoor cut here or there, just was open that we couldn't get there. You know, we just weren't athletic enough to make the play. That's really exciting. And then the depth, while it's very exciting, it's also like nerve wracking because it's gonna be hard to juggle and keep everybody happy. You know, I don't want that to implode and that be what we thought was awesome that it turns into a negative, you know. But I mean, it's hard not to get excited. I mean, everything you read in here, you got shooting, you got athleticism, you got multiple guards, you got multiple bigs. I mean, what else can you ask for? So, you know, there's nothing not to be excited about. But my biggest thing from last year, I feel like we should be a lot more athletic, a lot more physical on defense.
Yeah, and then you also take into consideration, last year that's what we was lacking of because of injury. Injury always seems to affect a team. It seems like we're injury prone. It seems like to happen to Kentucky a lot. Colton, I know you got a chance to watch the pro day. I want to skip over to you. There's a lot of headlines going into that. Some of the ones I wrote down was, Jalen Lowe looked good, his leadership. Trent Noah shooting, lighting it up. Brandon Garrison, his physical development and appearance seemed to be a little bit more. And then Malachi Moreno looks like he's ready to go. If you have any other, go ahead. But what out of those, if you want to talk a little bit about those, like what was the most surprising, I guess, to you, or eye catching of the ones I listed, or anything that you took from the pro day?
Yes. So, one, I do think that there's more shooters than what we realize, right? Obviously, we don't have the Kobe Bryant or the Jackson Robinson, like the guys that we know that are elite 3-point shooters coming in. Like, we don't look at anyone on this team and we're like, who is that guy. But the thing is, it's like, I think there's several guys that can make the shot, which is good to have. Now, I don't know, like when it comes game time, are they the guys? We know that Trent Noah can shoot, obviously. Colin Chandler started to heat up towards the end of last season. Jasper Johnson seems to be having a shot. But they say right now Johnson and Lowe are like the stock that you want to buy because they're really proving themselves, which is good because I was kind of worried about the guard play. Jalen Lowe did good in the ACC. You just never know with the physicality in the SEC how those guys are going to transfer, but he seems to be able to lead and get to the paint, they're saying, anytime he wants to. Trent Noah, I think, is going to end up getting a little more playing time than I thought he was. We'll see. But I think that they're going to rely on his shooting. But really, he was coming in at I was thinking he's going to probably be like a 10th or 11th guy, and he may still, but with all the depth that we have this year. But it's looking like he's getting a little more playing time. I wasn't on the Colin Chandler train last year. I've talked with Chad. I've definitely got more on it.
That's convincing.
I'm all for it. I think I think he's one of the biggest X factors for our entire season. Like, I think if he takes a jump that I think he can take with the athleticism that he has and the ability to guard, and can knock down the outside shot, I think he's got the biggest chance to be like a difference maker in different categories. So,
Did you see the quote from like an anonymous NBA scout?
what did it say?
It said it was like Colin Chandler looks like the All-American that he was recruited to be.
I hope he does. I'm all about. Listen, I'm in.
A lot of ears, Colin Chandler dominates this year. A lot of ears.
Yeah, I wasn't on that train either. But I mean, I'm glad to see him playing good. Mason, Colton talked about something there. I want to hear your input on it. Talking about Jalen Lowe, because I know whenever he was playing, you was more of that pass first guard.
Mm-hmm.
At Pittsburgh, Jalen Lowe was kind of put in a predicament where he had to be that guy to be the scorer and everything. With this team, he doesn't have to do that or be that. And I think he can just let the game come to him. Talk a little bit about like why this team is fit for a point guard for Jalen Lowe. And then also, you think of Otega Olway coming, like the pressure is not going to be on Jalen Lowe. I mean, if anybody's going to hold that pressure, it's going to be our go-to guy who was it last year. And he's kind of the one who's going to, everybody be like, okay, although we expect the Colin Chandlers to take that next leap, we're expecting the Brandis and Garrison to step up. When the game comes to the end, we all know, based on last year, who we are going to put our trust in. Now, it may not go that way this year. I'm just saying, as a collective whole, I think all of BBN understands, like, that's the guy who we want to see lead this team. So how does that help Jalen Lowe moving into this next phase, going into Kentucky basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was one of the biggest kind of question marks with him coming in, looking at some of his shooting percentages and some of the tough games he may have had last year. But like you said, Dylan, he pretty much had to do everything for that team that he was on. And that's tough to do, whenever you're relied on to go score the ball, to facilitate the ball, to get your offense up and running. When you got to do everything and you're not on a great team, that's hard to do. And there's a lot of people who, analysts and insiders of college basketball who are saying, he's going to fit perfect in Mark Pope's system because he's not going to go out there and have to score 20 plus a game for us to be able to win. He can go out there, he can play his game. He's so good at being able to kind of get to his spots and facilitate. And I think that's just going to open up so much for everybody else, with the people around him, like you talked about, Dylan. We have Oway, we have shooters out on the perimeter. The play style that Mark Pope likes to run, a lot of cutting, a lot of back doors, a lot of screens. I think that's going to help Jalen Lowe a lot as well. Watching some of his highlights and films from last year, I felt like a lot of times it'd get down to 10 seconds on the shot clock and he's just having to go try to make something happen. And of course, your percentages aren't going to be great, whenever you're just trying to get something up and go get a bucket with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. So I think it's huge for him. I think, like I said, there were some people with some criticisms and some question marks coming in on him, but I think he's going to fit perfectly in this system, and that's going to eliminate some of these question marks we had. I think he shot 50% from three during the pro day. I think he was 3 for 6 or something. You see all that stuff. I don't know if y'all see it on X all the time about the guys who are in the gym getting shots up and their percentages and all those things. He's putting in the work, and people have said before, I think the season before he was around a 35% 3-point shooter. So I think we see that come back. with some of that pressure taken off of him, being able to take smarter shots and not having to force things.
Yeah. Chad, I know the expectation for Kentucky fans is national championship or bust. I mean, like not in reality, but that's the thought process.
Yeah.
Going into this season, do we have a national championship contender? And let's just take given that Jaden Quainance is healthy. Obviously, that's a big. I mean, if he comes back off his ACL tear now, everything that I'm seeing, it looks like it's going to be a promising return. He's rehabbing great, going to be looking good. Otega Oweh, we know, has the turf toe thing going on, but with this team fully healthy, is this a team that can make a deep run in March? I know we're only in October right now, but I mean, do we have everything you need for a team to go all the way?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how you could argue that we don't. I mean, the only thing we may be lacking is a true superstar. But of the last, I don't know, I couldn't name you a national championship team that's had a true superstar, right? I mean, am I missing anybody that was just? I mean, Duke didn't win last. Like it's Duke.
Yeah.
UConn's big man was pretty good.
Duke.
Clinigan.
Clinigan, yeah, Clinigan was
Yeah,
he was legit. But I mean, I get what you're saying though.
yeah. I mean, that would be the only thing that we don't have. But I mean, I honestly think it's going to come down to chemistry. If like Otega worries me a little, not necessarily. It's like he has those off games, right? And this year, he's not going to have to play through those. So if he gets buried on the bench because he's missed 5 shots in a row, like how's he going to respond? Like stuff like that kind of worries me. But as far as to answer your question, I don't know how anybody can argue that we don't. So yes, 100%. I think we have all the pieces necessary. You
Colton
got
Mason,
you
I
got
mean, no, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, but Colton Mason, I think that I want that question to go to you all as well. But I mean, I'm just looking at our roster. I mean, and I think that Mark Pope he done a fantastic job of bringing in those glue guys, like just the Muhammad Diabate, like the guy who's going to bring that physical appearance for your team, the guy that you just have to have on every team that's going to be good or great has that Diabate. Your Braden Hawthorns, your lockdown defenders, who's going to get benched, but is going to come in and fill in those scrap minutes. He might start. I don't know. But all around, I mean, I'm right there with Chad. I think that you look at this roster, not only on paper, but you see them for your own eyes, and you're like, okay, this is a national. So I have the same question for you two, but what could probably keep us from becoming that in a different sense?
Yeah, for me, I think the star worries me, and that's not to say someone won't develop as one, but like when it comes down to it, who when we need to go now, obviously Oweh had a couple of those drives, but say we need someone to make a 16, 17-foot jumper one-on-one, take their guy. I don't know who it's going to be yet. Hopefully someone shows up like that, and but it seems like you always kind of need those guys when everyone else is having off time. I will say at the beginning of last year, one thing that worried me about Pope was he was subbing a lot when he didn't need to be. And like Chad mentioned earlier, we have so many guys now. Like that doesn't like that's a great thing to have. We want the depth like we talk about, but I also don't think that means that like 11 guys need to be playing every game.
Yeah.
And so I think that will be just making sure that you kind of figure out who to play and what to play. Look, I think this is as good as a year. I think the SEC is down in a lot of ways. I think there's been a lot of change around college basketball. I think Kentucky's as good. I mean, I feel like Kentucky should be a top 3 team in the SEC going in. I feel like it's them, Florida, and maybe Arkansas. Like I feel like those 3 teams are really above. I mean, you look, Auburn lost Bruce Pearl. Tennessee doesn't seem to have got many people out of the portal or recruiting class. I mean, there's a lot of teams down, right? I think it's those 3 teams above everyone. So if Kentucky's going to do it, like this is the time to do it. I just think, it's really comes down. You just never know. I'd like to ask that question about 5 games in, 6
Yeah.
games in, just to see what we can see.
All right. Mason, wrap it up here, and then we'll get to some football.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, like Colton said, when it comes to March, you think back to last year, there was a couple games where Walter Clayton just completely took over and kept Florida in that tournament. And a lot of times in March, that's what it boils down to. You got to have a guard who could go and take over a game and keep you alive, because you're going to have those games, right? You're going to have games where teams jump out on you, or you go through a drought and you get down 7 or 8 with 6 minutes left. You've got to have somebody who can go get you a bucket and put you back in the game. And like Colt said, I don't really know who that is. Could it be Otego? Absolutely, it could, but he's got to develop a better jump shot. And hopefully he has during the offseason. I know he's been injured, been limited some. But hopefully we have somebody who could step into that role. Any given time we need can just go take over a game and get us a bucket. And then the other thing, like Colton said, the rotations. That was something I was thinking about earlier when Chad was talking about it. I really hope that, and I get it, with the style that Mark Pope plays, so quick up and down the court, a lot of cutting, a lot of movement, never standing still on the offensive end of the floor. You have to have guys who can come in there and give guys breathers. I get that. But I hope that he learned from last year. And maybe during the beginning of the season, that's fine, right? Let some guys try to find the rhythm, see what's working right. I completely get that. But I hope towards, the end of the season, starts getting closer to March, he starts narrowing down some of those rotations and, brings it down to 8, 9 guys that can really go out there, our top guys who are performing at that time. But I think one guy that nobody's really mentioned, and I think is going to be maybe not starting out, but by middle end of season, is Cam Williams. Kid can shoot the rock. He's good on both ends of the floor, very athletic. I think he could be one of those guys. I don't know if he's a go get a bucket guy, but I think he's a guy who could come in and catch fire and knock down, 6, 7 threes in a game, and then go down on the other end and, lock up their best defender as well. He needs to put on a little muscle, but athletically, the attributes, he has it. So we'll see what happens.
He's got range.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, that just speaks to the depth that we have. I mean, we didn't even mention Cam Williams. But, all right, well, let's get to the college football. So, on the flip side of things, Kentucky football is still struggling. They go down to Georgia. They get beat 35-14. With the win, Georgia improves to 4-1. Overall, 2-1 in the SEC, and Kentucky falls to 2-3 and 0-3 in SEC conference play. Georgia extends its winning streak in the series over Kentucky to 16 games. Cutter Boley, though, connected with Josh Caddis for a 29-yard touchdown pass to make it a 14-7 game. So, just early in the beginning, still was sort of a game. But by the end of the half, it kind of...
And Kentucky missed a 26-yard field goal to go into halftime to make it 21-10.
From
that's
there,
it. I mean, right there, it's Kentucky to a T. I mean, that's. It is. Yeah. I mean, look.
Go ahead. Yeah, I don't want to spend much time with Kentucky football because I just feel like we're both saying the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
I'm not spending
a
whole lot of time on it. It's frustrating. I will say, I think Cutter Boley did look a little more poised than he had the last couple of weeks. I think he is learning, which I think is the whole purpose of playing. Right, you're getting beat to these guys regardless of who you throw out there right now. So you might as well be developing, and I do feel like he stayed in the pocket more. I felt like he made a few more confident throws in the game, and that's what he's going to have to do. You might as well spend the rest of this season developing that type of guy and developing Boley, because he might be your future. And if he can, get a couple years under that, you might have really something here in a year or two. So I did like to see that, but overall, you can't name a team. You can't look at the schedule and think of anyone that we're going to beat in the SEC.
Chad, do you have any thoughts? I know you've not been on here. We say the same thing every week almost. Not the same, but yeah. Do you have any thoughts on this UK football program? Is there anything you want to say?
I respect what Stoops has done, and I've listened to some of your stuff. Listened when Billy Joe was on, and I get it that he's done a lot for the program, but we're going farther and farther into a hole, and we're not. We're showing no progression. So, if you can't
it's kind of like what Mason said.
If he can't,
Mason said it best.
What did he say?
I think it was Mason who said it, or it was either Mason or
Colton
one.
Phillips.
Well, you said, like we've dug ourselves in a deeper spot than what we were whenever Stoops came in.
Yeah,
we're getting back to where we are. Yeah,
we're getting back to where we were when we fired Joker.
But I will defend Stoops, and as far as this goes, I don't know that we've gone backwards as much as other teams have gotten better. I mean, when he was on his run, which in Florida's still not good, but they have talent. But like Missouri wasn't good. Vandy was terrible. We were beating. We were winning 4 or 5 SEC games, but we weren't really beating anybody. Now those teams have gotten better. I mean, Missouri's good, and like Auburn, which Auburn was good, but Ole Miss. Like Ole Miss wasn't. Like you look at some of these teams that have just hired good coaches and are getting better. Like South Carolina, we beat them 3 or 4 years in a row, and now we can't beat them. And some of that is us. Some of it's the teams have gotten better, and that ground and pound display defense just doesn't. It's not going to cut it. I mean, like I've always said, we need. It's almost like what Vandy has, even with that quarterback. It's like you need a gimmick for us to be able to compete, and we're never going to win more than 8 or 9 games. But it doesn't need to be a traditional offense. It needs to be some kind of gimmick that we can outscore some people when we get hot. I've always thought that at Kentucky. I would love to compete, but it's unless you get lucky, it's not going to happen. I mean, you're not going to beat.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Well, I
just
think
not
it's
going.
just realistic. I mean, and you're just being, I mean, realistic for Kentucky football. Okay, well, here's what I'm gonna do. So there's a lot of games that were big time games. So I've decided here's how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna give a rundown of the games first, all of them, and then I'm gonna send it to one of you all to talk about one of those games that you want. And we don't all have to talk about it because we'll be on here all night. So uh, we've already talked about it. Let's start with Texas Longhorns. So Texas falls to Florida Gators 29-21 in Gainesville. Despite a strong start, Texas struggled in the second half, allowing Florida to capitalize on some key turnovers, and the defense just wasn't there. Archie Manning threw for 289 yards and 2 touchdowns, but the offense could just not continue getting going. Defense was missing some key players, and they allowed 457 yards total, including 298 passing yards. With this loss, Texas drops to 3-2 overall and 0-1 in SEC play. Another big time game, the Penn State game. They suffered probably the biggest upset of the season so far to the UCLA, who was winless at this time, losing 42-37. The defense, they allowed 5 touchdown passes from UCLA's quarterback, which was Tennessee's old quarterback. This was a 16-game winning streak against top 10 teams that was snapped for Penn State. Drew Aller, which is Penn State's quarterback, threw for 314 yards and 3 touchdowns. Had a big fumble at the end of the third quarter. Penn State now is 3-2 and 0-2 in Big Ten play. Nobody would have probably thought that. And then the last game that I'm going to throw out there, and then I'll hand it over to you fellas, is the Miami Hurricanes just look complete dominant. They had a 28-22 victory over number 18 Florida State. Carson Beck looks good, threw for 4 touchdowns. Malachi Tony looked good, had a couple receiving touchdowns. With this win, Miami improves to 5-0. And this, I think this was the solidifier of, like this Miami team's the real deal. So I was reading, so I don't know where I got it, but they now have a 90% chance of making the college football playoff right now. So just a wild weekend of college football. Somebody said, it's one of those games, like there wasn't a lot of like huge, big time, like head-to-head matches, but it was that week of just like the unexpected.
Right.
Mason, out of the games that I discussed, well, I guess for you is maybe not the most surprising, but eye-opening, like, okay, or a shocker. Well, just whatever you want.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Miami Florida State game. I've been thinking that Miami's the best team in the country for a couple weeks now. They played a couple good teams, but I really think Carson Beck's looked great. He looks like a completely different quarterback this year in my eyes. I think a
Yep.
lot of that has to come down to I think they're just letting him go out there and play. I think Kirby Smart, I think he's a great coach, but I think he likes to control everything. He's very systematic, do this, do that. And I think they're just allowing Carson Beck to go out there and say, hey, you see something? It's free reign. Go out there and call it. You've been playing college football for a while. He has the weapons around him. Malachi Tony, that kid's going to be really good. He's just a freshman, and I think he reclassified, right? Didn't he
Yes.
reclass? He wasn't even supposed to be in
You know,
college until next year.
he reminds me of Cheetah. Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Like he's so quick. He's so fast.
Their whole team is fast. They're either
Yeah.
really or really slow because they did not look like they should be on the field together.
Yeah. No, I think to me that's the biggest thing that I took away. I think Miami's the best team in college football right now because I think they have it on both sides of the ball. I think their defense as well. Their offense looks really good. I want to see him go up against, one of those top teams like an Ohio State or, somebody there in the top five. So I'm excited to see what happens. They probably aren't going to play anybody like that until the college football playoff rolls around. I don't know what their schedule is left. But be exciting to see. I think they're the best team in college football right now. So that was the biggest standout to me.
Chad, what game interested you?
I mean the Florida Texas game was just weird. I mean, the line was only like 5, which should have been a complete red flag. And I was talking to Rusty about he said Florida's defense is really good. They just don't have a quarterback. So he was like, they're going to give them a game. And then we watched together, and I was blown away. I mean, Florida dominated. It wasn't even close. And I don't know
But
how.
as a Florida fan, Chad, is that a good or a bad thing? Because I was reading a lot of things like saying
Back,
like
but
Billy Napier, this whole
back,
ordeal, like he's back again. Like that one win is
you're
the
exactly right. It's horrible because that's what happened last year. They beat. I mean, he just kind of hangs around. It's like it was it like Jeff Fisher went 8-8 forever, and you couldn't. And he would always win a couple games at the end of the year, and like you didn't know what to do. And it's the same deal. I mean, it's a huge win. I mean, how do you fire him? I don't know, but
What do you think about Arch? Like, do you think things can be solved? Do you think he's got it in?
I've just read. I haven't watched him enough. I was on and off on that game, so
Yeah.
it's all. I mean, it's not a good situation, right? I mean, he's
No.
not what he was supposed to be so far, and you feel bad for people like that though, because is it one of those deals like the hype, like the pressure was just too much?
Right.
And then what did I see? It was like Johnny Manziel or somebody, which I don't know
Yeah.
what that, but he was talking about like he didn't play like 5A and 6A in Texas. Like he played these like small schools and just dominated. And it's different when you're playing like the competition you played in high school is not the same as what he, so it's hard to tell how good he was going to be, but he did not fit the bill right now for what he was supposed to be.
Before I throw it over to Colton, I do want to, the Arch Manning thing that Colton, because I have watched Arch Manning, and I'll be honest, I don't think I just don't think he has it. And here's the reason why I say that. I say that, and the pressure and everything, not that it can't come, but for right now, he doesn't have it. And the whole thing about, the pressure, like, is it fair to him? Well, we're talking about a kid who went and has been under somebody for 2 years. Like he's had a chance to take in game, not in game, but take reps and get the flow of things. We're not talking about somebody who's coming out freshman year with the Manning name and all these expectations are on him. Like we are in a sense, but not really. Like he's been in a successful program for 2 or 3 years now. He's been under Quinn Ewers, who had even more pressure on him because he had Archie Manning as his backup, and he had to prove himself, which Texas is probably still wishing they had him. So for me, I just don't think he has it. I don't right now. I think that yes, he has the tangible things. He has the arm. He has the quickness, but as far as the complete package, it's not clicking right now, and it may be deeper than just that. I don't know. But Colton, give me
Go
your
ahead,
thoughts
Chad.
on Archie
You wanna
Manning
say?
or whoever.
Well, they all, and I'm not, I mean, I like to watch football, but I don't know like technique, but everybody gets off on his throwing motion that it's not good.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
a little
don't know,
sidearmish.
like, I don't know,
I
but that could
yeah.
be.
I'm in between. I think the things that I see the most is one, he is athletic. He does have the running ability. Running quarterbacks tend to want to lead the pocket early in their footwork, and that's the biggest thing I'm seeing with him is like his first initial thought is, oh, I'm like he's thinking, where can I escape to? And so he's abandoning his footwork, and so a lot of throws he's off balance. He's throwing like on this back foot, like he's not stepping into it. When he has a clean pocket, he's made a few throws this year like towards the end of the Ohio State game, he made one. Like I'm like, that's an NFL type throw, and I think he can be a game manager. Like I mean, that's what Eli was, right? Like he wasn't the most talented quarterback, but like I think he can do that type of stuff. But I think he does have to develop some of those things, and I think he can. Obviously, he's not going out to the draft this year. Maybe we'll see what experiences comes in. But just real quick, to me, I'll talk about the other game, Penn State. I mean, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
What's embarrassing? It's embarrassing because 42 points. You paid your defensive coordinator. You took him from Ohio State. Paid your defensive coordinator $3.1 million, and you gave up 42 points to UCLA.
Oh,
The guy who's
that
never
all
called
that
plays.
They have an interim
They
head
had
coach,
20
an interim offensive coordinator, and
their
an interim
their
defensive
coach had been,
coordinator.
and they had
And they
20
had
fans in the stands. Like,
a quarterback from Tennessee.
yeah,
Yeah.
quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Did
supposed
you
to
see where
have
their coach
going
couldn't
into the
even
year.
contact him? Like his radio thing, he said he didn't know how to do it, how to work it. He
I
said he was
mean,
clicking the
that's just
wrong button.
look. Penn State just continues to be like this was going to be their year because they thought Allard was going to be like they thought he was going to be one of the top 3 or 4 QBs taken in the draft. So you had an NFL quarterback, you had a defense full of NFL players, and you returned both running backs that were both like ran for 1,000 yards last year.
Yep.
They thought, oh, this is it. You ain't even played Ohio State yet, and you're already 0-2. You're done. The top Texas, Penn State, and Clemson were 3 of the top 4 ranked teams, and all are outside the top 25.
Penn
5
State
weeks in.
ball. It's a
Yeah,
disappointment.
it is. They are. I mean, it's just constant. It's just constant. That was embarrassing. It ain't no other words. It's just embarrassing.
I like
We're
it.
Kentucky
All
fans.
right, well,
Come
let's
on
get
now.
yeah.
Yeah, but we know we're bad.
Yeah.
This is true. Well, speaking of bad, let's get to the NFL and let's tighten up, baby. The Tennessee Titans lock up their first win of the season in dramatic
What a
fashion,
beautiful win.
as only the Tennessee Titans could. You know, they're just like the Kentucky Wildcats football team. Like, only them would be able to do something like this. Titans overcome a 21-3 deficit to defeat the Arizona Cardinals in a 22-21, snapping a 10-game losing streak. This game concluded by a 29-yard field goal made by Joey Slye as time expired. With the Cardinals leading 21-6, many people thought it was over because Amari DeMarcado appeared to have sealed the game on a 72-yard touchdown run. However, he prematurely celebrated and dropped the football before entering the touchdown, which gave the Tennessee Titans life. And that's not even the worst. I mean, not even the end of it. The Cardinals safety, Dadrian Taylor, intercepted a pass from Cam Ward, immediately fumbles it, allowing Tyler Lockett to come and recover the ball in the end zone to score a touchdown.
God no,
I mean,
baby.
like what?
The Cardinals, Kentucky. That's Kentucky.
Yeah, you're right. The way the
Exactly. I feel
Cardinals
like that would
lost is
happen to
exactly
Kentucky.
how.
We're not on the good side of that.
But I mean, but Cam Ward, he did throw for 265 yards and was 19 for 39. I think the receivers have got to catch some of these balls though. There's way too many drops going on. Like, I mean, like, I don't know if it, and that's something I was listening to on the Titan radio is like, I don't know if it's as much as Cam Ward's passes, just like Colton has mentioned before, sometimes are a little like too hot. Like, you just got to have that touch at certain times, or if it's coming a bigger issue, that we just ain't catching the ball. I mean, I think they could be a little bit of both. But regardless, we are on the board. We are not the Jets are 0-5 and we are 1-4. So let's tighten up and move ahead. So we're going to do a little bit of the same thing that we did in football. And I'm going to hand it over to you all. Okay. So here we go. So the Indianapolis Colts, nobody ever would have thought the Indianapolis Colts would be 4-1 at this point in the season. They dominate the Las Vegas Raiders with 40-6 commanding win. Jonathan Taylor had 3 touchdowns. Daniel Jones added 2 touchdown passes, had a free turnover game. The victory improved them to 4-1, as I mentioned, but this marks their best start since 2013. Sunday Night Football, you had the matchup of the New England Patriots, who upset the Buffalo Bills, which now means there is no undefeated NFL team now. The win ended the Bills' 14-game regular season home winning streak and left the NFL without an unbeaten team. And then Monday Night Football, you had the Jacksonville Jaguars securing a dramatic win over the Kansas City Chiefs at 31-28. Trevor Lawrence had 275 passing yards with 3 touchdowns, including his game-1 scramble where he trips over one of his linemen, finds a way to find the end zone. this marks the Jaguars now are 4-1 as well, marking their best start since 2018. What's going on? What is going on in the NFL, Mason? What's the headline here for the games that I've mentioned, or something you want to throw out there? But take it over, and then I'm gonna send over to Chad after you.
Yeah, so I'll talk about two games. First one, and not two, one of the ones you mentioned, and then a different one. So the first one's going to be the Jaguars and Chiefs. Shout out Liam Cohen, first off. Former Kentucky offensive coordinator. I think he's a great coach. But he's got them playing well. I think the last few years, they've kind of shifted in a different direction, started getting some of the guys that they really want to build, their team around. But I think this also
Josh
speaks towards the
Allen.
Chiefs. Yeah, I mean, you got Josh Allen on the defensive side. You got Travis Hunter, who he looks good, made some great plays, great catches. And Colton and I were talking. I texted him, and we were talking about Trevor Lawrence before it, and don't think that he is Super Bowl caliber quarterback. I don't think they win a Super Bowl with him. But the
Why didn't
Jags
you
are a
text me?
scary. Well, Dylan, we were talking
You
about the
didn't.
games.
You didn't. Yeah, for a reason.
We were talking about our pickle because I took the Jags. But
Sorry
we
to
were
cut you off.
talking.
Go ahead.
No, all good. And don't think he's a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, but I do think that the Jags are a scary team. Somebody that you wouldn't want to see in the playoffs. They play well on both sides of the ball. They're that team that I feel like people kind of overlooked so far this season, but they have the weapons. They got the team, and then the Chiefs. I mean, are the Chiefs still there? I know they dealt with some injuries, but they're off to a really slow start this season, and they talked about it all night during the game. Patrick Mahomes was the leading rusher for the Chiefs up until this game. What's going on?
I don't know what Chad's doing. He'll not go back in there.
And no, go on.
Well, bring him on. Bring him on.
And I think that was the biggest thing. Like the Chiefs are just missing a run game right now, and that's putting so much pressure on Patrick Mahomes, and he's trying to do everything, and that's their biggest issue right now. But the other game I want to talk about was the Broncos and Eagles. The Eagles, I said it last week. I don't know that they go up against a good defense in Denver, right? And they were up big, up 2 touchdowns, I think. And the Broncos, their defense started holding strong. They can't move the ball down the field. They can't score. And we talked about Jalen Hurts, in those type of moments, in those situations where, you've been stopped a few times in a row. The team's starting to make a comeback. You've got to have a quarterback who can go out there and make the plays, get the ball down the field, and at least put some points on the board. So I think that just shows that the Eagles, yes, they're great on both sides of the ball, but that's their biggest thing. If you can take away that run game and limit that run game and force Jalen Hurts to beat you, that's their weakness.
Chad, are you a Titans fan?
I do so much fantasy football. But
Drew Brewer was on his team.
I mean, I like
Well,
it.
then you-
I like for them to be because you can go watch a game, right? But I don't really.
Right.
Yeah. Well, then you tell us,
I'm
what
going
game do you want
Packers.
to highlight or talk a little bit about, or something that, just surprised you or something? Go ahead.
The Patriots game really surprised me. That's a game over the last couple of years. Like no matter who the Bills play on Sunday night, it's like if they're at home, they just win, and usually win by a lot. Like I hadn't watched them that close, but I did watch that game, and Drake May impressed me a lot, and their defense is very impressive. I mean, to go in there and hold Buffalo to 20 points at home. I mean, in that atmosphere is so that caught me off guard, and then I felt like the Jags won that game against Kansas City the way Kansas City has won every close game they've played over the last 8 years. There was a late PI call in the end zone that gets moves to 1. There's and that you see the stat they were 11-0 last year in one possession games, and this year they're 0-3. But just that Jags game, that the way they won reminded me of how y'all like Mahomes always gets that late PI call, or they so. But those were 2 great football games to watch.
Yeah, I watched pretty much both games through and through, and I would agree with you about the Patriots been the Patriots, and Colton mentioned it early. Like Mike Vrabel, one thing that you never can discount about Mike Vrabel is he is going to play you a very tough game, and it's going to be one of those games that you're not going to want to be a part of because they're going to find a way whether to win or just find a way to still be in it. It's not going to get out of hand. Like that's not the case with him. And like you said, you're seeing Drake May,
He
bloom
made some really
into
good.
this franchise quarterback who they wanted, and and their defense. I mean, you couldn't. I think what I was listening to, I think the Bills had one turnover all year, and the Patriots, was it 2 or 3 turnovers they had? That I know for sure they had 2, but yeah, I think that you're looking at a franchise that could be finding themselves again after this whole Belichick and Brady postpartum, leaving. But Colton, what was something that stuck out to you? And you can say any of the other ones we've said. I know that we've said all of them already, but what are your
Yeah,
thoughts
I'll
over
just focus
these?
on, instead of games, I'll focus on number one. Like I said, yeah, Mike Vrabel, you mentioned it. I talked about that before the season even started. I thought the Patriots were going to be a sleeper team, just because of him being a coach, and especially Josh McDaniels. One thing with Vrabel is it kind of hurt Vrabel is like when Arthur Smith left Tennessee early, to go be the Falcons head coach. Like Tennessee's offense was pretty good. They were a good combination. Then we didn't really get a great offensive coordinator the last couple of years that Vrabel's was there, and the offense just stalled around Derrick Henry. But with having Josh McDaniels in there, that's a really good combo for what Vrabel can bring to the team, and then also having a little bit of an offensive scheme. So I really expect them to be a very tough game, and whoever they play. But then also Daniel Jones, hey, MVP running right now. Like I don't know how much of it's Daniel Jones as much as the Colts have constructed a really good roster over the years, and they just haven't been able to get the right quarterback in there since Andrew Luck retired. And Daniel Jones right now is fitting in their run game. They're solid all the way around. The best thing about the Colts is you don't look at them and say, who is their superstar? Jonathan Taylor's maybe the closest thing to a star that they have. But like you don't look at Pittman and you don't look at like Alex Pierce and Josh Downs and all these guys, but they got a good young tight end in Tyler Warren. Their defense is just solid. They've rebuilt their offensive line. And to me, like they're a very tough out because they're very solid at all those positions. You just don't know of any of them being superstars. But that's the type of team that Daniel Jones. I mean, right now Daniel Jones is in the MVP running. And are we
Yeah.
seeing a Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield type of
Well, that's what I was going to say.
revelation?
You have Baker
I mean,
Mayfield, who's also in the MVP running right now. I've seen a lot of
Baker,
people
yeah,
say, if he
playing
ended
some.
today,
That
it'd
was a
be
great
maybe
game.
him.
I don't know if you watched any of that game, but the Seahawks Bucks game was a great football game. I mean, that was two guys that they played really good football all the way around.
All right. Any
Before you
other
leave,
thoughts?
I
Check
got a loyal listener that want me to give a plug. John Michael Pollan, do not sleep on the pack.
That's
Super Bowl
right.
champs.
the Pack.
That's right.
That's Mason's
Oh,
team. The
man.
Packers.
Go Pack, go.
Here we
Let's
go.
go.
What he said,
The
he said, don't sleep
Packers.
on.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you
Man,
see
yeah,
what
they weren't.
see what
Everyone was
happens when
predicting
they
to be
play
Super Bowl
somebody.
champs until they got beat the Browns and then tied the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
That's early.
Tighten up.
That tie's the biggest BS. Can't stand it.
Tighten up.
All
What
right.
we gonna do? Tie
Well,
the
let's get
Super
into
Bowl?
another. Yeah, they could.
Good Lord. So ridiculous. Could you imagine?
All right. Calm down, Mason. You shouldn't have tied anyways. But
Gosh, I know, but that
all right,
shouldn't
so
be the
this
rule. Anyways, next topic.
this next segment, it's titled "How long should it take versus how long it actually takes." I'm gonna ask each one of you all a question. It will be your question to answer, and then we'll go to the next one. And then we have one more segment after this. But take a break from the sports. Chad, your first question. So, how long should a adult male shower take? Not how long it actually takes. How long do you think an adult male shower should take?
5 minutes at least. If you're gonna get clean.
Well, we got to get we got to get down like specifics here.
5
Down,
minutes. 4
5
minutes and
minutes,
58
exactly
seconds.
5 minutes. Do you think you're over or under the average?
I'm probably right on point.
All right.
So I'm right
Well,
at 5. I mean, I've got a routine. Do you have a routine? I mean, you go
Yeah.
through my routine about 5 minutes. Huh? No, you got to start
yeah,
at the
no,
top
no.
and
I
go
mean,
down.
yeah. I mean, this is your question. It's nobody
Yeah.
else's.
You got to
All
start
right.
at the
Well,
top and go down.
yeah. Well, the
What's the
adult
average?
male shower takes 8
You can't watch
minutes
it
and
last.
43 seconds.
Say 8 minutes
8 minutes and 43
40
seconds.
is the
8 minutes
average.
and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A long
It's a
time to
long
shower.
shower. I agree. I agree. I'm right there with you.
Dylan takes
I
the
feel like
quickest showers of
Mason,
anybody
you
I've
take
ever known.
Colton does
I was
too.
gonna. My guess was gonna
I
be
ain't,
8
got,
minutes.
I ain't got no hair to wash.
It's
My
going to be
hair's
how long?
not that. I mean,
My guess was gonna be 8 minutes.
8 minutes? I feel like that's a long time to
It's not
what
shower.
am I
like
supposed?
it's
What
not
am
like
I
it
doing?
takes me.
Like,
It's not like it takes me that long. I just get in there and I'm like, man, this hot water feels good, and I
I don't
stand
know.
there.
The most actually, and not like letting the water warm up and not the whole process, right?
yeah.
It's like,
Get in,
Yes,
get
I
out.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just wasting money by letting that water run. All right, here we go. Mason, how long should it take 18 holes of golf to be played with a cart with a foursome?
Oh, with a foursome? Depends.
Yeah.
What are their handicaps? Am I playing,
I mean, I'm just
or is Chad
well, this
playing?
is just the average. This is
Is
the
my group of
average.
friends playing, or is Chad's group of friends playing? And it makes a big difference here. I'm gonna say.
This is the overall
I'm just
average.
gonna. All right, I'm gonna say 4.5 hours.
Colton, do you think he's over or under?
I mean, that's the standard, but surely with a cart, it's gotta. He's over. I mean, it's gotta be less than that, surely.
What do you think it might be, Colton?
I'm gonna say it's 3 hours and 55 minutes.
18 holes of golf with a cart and a foursome is average 4 hours and 5 minutes.
Not too
10
far off.
minutes.
All right, Colton,
Yeah, I
here's
mean
yours.
that's about right. All right.
Run 1 mile.
Hold
This is
on, we're
the
talking about
average.
me. We're talking about Mason.
No, this is the
We're
this
talking
is
about
the
you.
average.
We're talking about me. The average mile ran. I'm gonna say.
Oh, hold on.
I'm
Is
gonna
this?
say.
Never mind. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say 9.5 minutes. I don't know. Maybe a mile. I'm trying to think. I feel like a fast mile is around 6 minutes. And maybe give or take 30 seconds of that. So I mean, I feel like it's just an average. Like I feel like a slow mile would probably be about 12. So let's go 9. Let's go 9. I'm gonna go 9.
9 minutes. Mason,
Yep.
Chad, what are your thoughts? Over,
I feel
under?
like that's. Is this males and females?
This is males. From if I didn't have it right down, but I think it was males when I was doing all this. I just tried doing males.
I would probably say 9.5.
I'd say
All
probably
right,
9.
the
I want.
average 1 mile run is 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
So I was right
Bingo.
originally. Like, what, are you?
Trust your
You
gut,
should have
Colton.
stuck with
I
your
was right
gut.
on it though.
You should
I
have
feel. I mean,
No,
listen.
no.
I'll
You
take
should have
it.
stuck with your gut.
I'll take it. That's a win. Listen,
Yep.
I knew what
All
the
right.
I knew what the slower end was.
Colton Den lost again, Mason. Chad, we went for a mile run. Wait, no, Mason wasn't with us. Me and Chance were running. Colton
I
got
wasn't.
lost. He's like, he got stopped. He got stopped by a stoplight or something. We're like, where did he go?
I got stopped by the hand signal on the sign.
All right, Chad. Here's your next one. How long does this take? Customer service phone support across all boards,
Gosh.
all companies, like not just one specific. So how long is the average customer service phone
You
support?
should have asked him talking about a claim with your insurance agent. Calling about a claim.
I'm going to say 3 minutes.
How long?
33 minutes.
33 minutes.
Is you count on being on hold and everything?
I
It
guess
just
so.
says customer service phone support, like to talk to somebody
Yeah,
through customer service.
it's a for experience at a minimum.
Okay, either you're way off or my predictions were way off. But what I've got wrote down is 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Which, I mean,
How you
I
thinking
got
about
to
Farm
thinking about
Bureau?
it. I got to thinking, yeah. I got to think about it. I was like, I mean, there's not been many times I have to wait forever. I mean, there has been times, but most of the time I get through pretty quick. But that's just me. I don't know. Maybe they like me better than you. I don't know.
Maybe they factored in a lot of Farm Bureau calls to get to 8 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
All right,
Gotta get
Mason.
a hold of your insurance agent.
How long can you go with until you have to fill up a tank of gas? On
This is
average,
going to vary so
how
much
long? How long
because
can you?
miles.
Like, wait, based on what? Like days or miles or hours?
Days.
There's so many variables here. How far do you drive for work? What type of vehicle do you have? Do you have gas? Do you have diesel?
What are we doing? We talking about this Prius or we talking about my truck?
Exactly. I'm going to say 3.5 days.
I'm just going to tell you right now, you're way off.
What?
7.6
Is that?
days.
That's ridiculous. There's no way.
Oh, is it electric?
That's what. 7.6 days.
Tommy Prius?
That's right. The
It's
Prius,
gotta be
baby.
Prius.
Hey, that
Someone
thing's
looked
got.
at their average on that white Prius they drove this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been everywhere. All right, Colton. Last one.
All right.
Mowing the yard. On average, how long does it take to mow the yard?
God, I mean, what? Am I mowing my apartment complex, or we mowing your front yard out there? I mean,
Is it an
all
acre?
right,
Is it 3
I'm gonna
acres?
say, yeah, I'm gonna say,
Is it after ground up or is it?
I'm gonna say
Does
an
this include
hour
weed
and
eating?
20 minutes.
No,
I'm gonna
just
say an hour
mowing.
and 20 minutes.
You're over right now.
45.
45 minutes.
40.
Dude,
Chad is on it. Colton.
Chad's cheating. He's looking them up.
I did send these to Chad before.
Nonsense.
I've got the experience factor.
That's right.
But
All right.
they
Well,
surveyed one person, and it was Chad.
We got about 10 minutes left, so let's get to this last segment. So, the last segment of the night, we're going to be ending with the GOAT himself. You know, how do we always talk about LeBron James on chat when Chad's here? Like, we've not talked about him since, really, but we find a way. Anyways,
Stupid. For so long. Wow.
on October 6th, this past week, LeBron James posted a video on X with the caption, the decision of all decisions. And the setup, you know, looked exactly like his big decision he made when he left Cleveland. This video, you know, was sent out on all platforms, and many people, as they should, speculate, oh, LeBron James is going to announce his retirement, and this will be his last year. I mean, he is entering his 23rd season. I'd seen something on X as well, and I want to tell you. So the reason that everybody thought this was leading to this is because Nike, he just dropped a new advertisement. It was entitled Forever King. Year 23, he wears number 23, so that makes sense. The Los Angeles Lakers, they didn't offer LeBron a contract extension. And then also All-Star Weekend is going to be held in Los Angeles. So, I mean, like, all variables are facing, like, you know, like, okay, yeah, he's going to, even I thought, I was like, man, this is it. He's finally going to call it quits. However, though, plot twist. This was just a ad for him in a new company he's trying to advertise. But what it did do, though, I guess you could one. Some may say this is a good advertisement. Some may say this is a little dramatic. Take it how you want. But ticket prices for the Lakers game surged from $82 to $580 as fans, you know, as they anticipated this as a historic announcement. But got him. But
How
Colton,
mad would
what?
you be? How mad
Yeah,
would
I
you
mean,
be if you
what?
bought one of those games? Like, yeah, I'm going to LeBron's final game, and
Yeah,
I'm
no,
spending
it
this
would
money
actually,
because
it
it's
was,
going to be his
yeah.
final regular season game, and
Well, I'm
for
gonna get my
that to come
thoughts
out
to
like that.
it.
Listen,
Yeah, I want to get my
that
thoughts real quick, and I'm
I
gonna hand it over.
I'll
I
give
don't want to
mine.
make it a big
Go
deal.
ahead.
I don't want to make it a big deal. Like for me, I mean, I understand because I know there's LeBron haters. I think, yeah, it was a little childish. But also though, I mean, it's all about money. Everything that in this industry. So it was something silly, dramatic, call it as you will. Yes, it was dramatic, but did it probably sell what he was wanting to sell or whoever it was that was with him partnering? Absolutely. I think so. And also he upped the Lakers games. I mean, that's pretty much my thing about it. I don't really have much thought into it. But go ahead, Colton.
Childish. No, no way Jordan's doing it. Just
here we go.
unreal. I mean, now what part of me would want to tune in when he actually does
I
say
mean,
he? I was, I was like, oh yeah, you know what? He deserves his little farewell, final season. Let him announce it. No, now I don't care. I don't give a thing. I mean, that's just nonsense. That's attention seeking. Just go ahead, mate. I don't have any words for LeBron.
yeah, I mean, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. It just shows reconnecting on my screen.
Oh
So,
no. Yeah.
um,
Yeah, it says
We can still
reconnected,
hear
but
you.
we can hear you.
okay. Um, so I mean, I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it either. I mean, do I think it's weird and shouldn't have been done? Yes. But at the same time, I feel like
Oh boy.
Now we've lost you.
I feel
All
like
right, go.
LeBron
He's out.
is
He's out.
as a
Go ahead, Chad.
child and not as good as Jordan. He's probably going to say something about he wasn't as good as Jordan, but we'll just finish the sentence.
No, he was not going to say that. But don't bring Jordan in this. Just talk about like. I mean, yes, I agree. I think it was just
Yeah, no,
weird.
my honest opinion, it was a great idea because nobody wanted to come to any games, so like he had to find a way to fill the stands up because nobody wants to watch him anymore. They're past him, so no, it was dumb. I mean, it was
No,
dumb, but I mean,
y-
if you want to watch you, make yourself talked about again. Good idea.
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I agree. But you know, it is what it is. I do think that one thing that it does, it hurts. Colton, I think you do make a good point. I think that, like whenever that time does come, it's not going to be that feeling of like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, like he's calling it quits. It's over. Now we're done. This is the last season. Like, I'm not going to have those same feelings. Like, because he kind of, in a sense, he ruined it for me. And I'm a loyal LeBron fan. And I mean, I agree. Like, I mean, it's ruined. Like, it's not going to be like, oh man, like, those feelings are gone. I mean, yeah, it's going to be still sad in a sense, but it's just like, yeah, I agree. It was childish. I didn't like it.
I made a mockery of what at some point will like people like you that really
Yeah.
really admire LeBron as far as a basketball player goes. Like that's going to be a big moment for you when he does announce. It would have been, but now it's. I mean, he did kind of take that. I get that.
So, well, Chad, thanks for coming on. Mason's probably going to try to hop back on, but we'll be out by the time he gets back in. We'll have you back on, especially whenever Kentucky basketball gets steamrolling and going. Any other thoughts?
Go Cats.
Yeah,
Go
as
Cat.
always, go Cats.
That's a wrap for this episode of Bluegrass State of Mind. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, be on the lookout for our social media pages and be sure to follow them. We've got plenty more stories, insights, and conversations coming your way. And if you really loved it, make sure to share it with a friend. From the hills to the hollers, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep that Kentucky spirit strong.